Welcome to the Arsenal show. We are live. And Arsenal are off the back of a 6-1 demolition of Sheffield United. It was light work of Arsenal. And Kai Havertz. A lot of people were sceptical about the signing. He's taking his time, but he's more than shown his worth at the moment. Everyone seems to be in tip-top form. Is it a turnaround from last season where we started off really well and tailed off, which we've seen for the past two seasons? Is this the right time for Arsenal to hit form? I'm joined by Steve, Kate, and Melvin Marks. How you doing?
Yeah, you doing, mate?
Thanks.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
Thanks, Kieran. Thank you very much.
Good.
All right. First of all, Steve, 6-0 victory against Sheffield United. I think before the game, everyone was fully expecting Arsenal to make light work of Sheffield United. But how easy did they make that in the first half?
Yeah, I mean, it was easy, but I don't know. I think the game sort of was over after about 15 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, and we probably could have had about 3 in the first 5 minutes. I mean, but yeah, I mean, all I can think about at the minute is just we can praise every player on that team, but I mean, some of these footballs that we're playing is, I think that it's probably the best in Europe at the moment. Probably the best I've seen since the Invincibles. I'm just blown away by it. And Arsenal blew away Sheffield United on Monday night. They just didn't know what hit them. We was just coming at them from all areas, all angles. And they just basically they didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to do. They substitute a player off after 15 minutes. I mean, I've never seen that before in the Premier League, I don't think. And I'm sure we'll get into players and stuff like that as we go along. But yeah, mate, it's. I was watching the game, and it was just like I just couldn't believe what I was watching. I just can't. I can't believe the football we're playing. It's unbelievable. And before we start getting into players and what else, Mikel Arteta. I mean, people try and second guess him. At the beginning, they try and second guess his signings. I mean, next time he signs a player, my advice to people out there is just shut up. Don't say nothing. Just leave it, because he never gets. I don't think he's got one wrong. He may have got one wrong, but the main players he never gets wrong. And if they start off bad, they always come good. And big 10 out of 10 to him.
All right. Melvin, a lot of people say that Sheffield United were poor, and they were very poor, but Arsenal, some of that football, the one-touch football, either the lead up to a goal or just in and around the box, was just a joy to watch yesterday, wasn't it?
It was. We made them chase shadows, because that's all they were doing. They were going to A place on the pitch, and the ball was then at B, and then it was at C, and it was. I mean, they must have at least Sheffield United got their fitness up, because they were running all over the place. So it's a good training session for them. But as you say, some of that football, I mean, Odegaard, for one, was a friend of mine who cannot stand Odegaard. Don't ask me why. No. Hear me out. He cannot. There's other players as well he can't stand, which at a later date I might tell you, because you might cut me off. But he cannot stand Odegaard. Whatever. He gives him a horrible nickname. It's not a rude nickname, but it's a degrading nickname. I'm not even going to put it over here, right? I'll tell you another day. And last night, I spoke to him at half time, and after the game, he goes, he was wonderful. And I never thought I'd hear those words. He said his passing was just out of this world. His short pass, his long pass. I mean, he doesn't kick the ball, does he? He just floats around the ball.
That grass cutter, it. That grass cutter, he did that.
Oh my God! What on the left
for
hand
about
side?
40
Yeah.
yards of skimming
Oh
like
my
it's throwing
God!
a
That's
stone across a lake.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. He is the maestro in our team. He keeps everything moving. It all comes through him. Doesn't have to do, but a lot of it does. And so you can just watch him, especially if at the ground as well. Watch his ability and watch the work rate he puts in. It's amazing. You very rarely get a player to do that. The people that amount of skill,
Mm.
they you
They
offset
let
that
off
about their work rate, don't you, Kieran?
Yeah.
But he actually does it. He actually does it. And he gets everyone to chase back as well, to get them in the corner. Don't let them out. No, I mean, just watching that football. I mean, you can go, as you say, Steve, go through every player and go, yeah. Look at that, look at that, look at that. But we've got back to the routine of last year where every time an Arsenal player gets the ball, he's got options. He don't have to put his foot on the ball. Go, now what do I do? Who wants it? Does anyone want it? Is anyone going to get in the space? I'll have to just hold it a little bit and no, I'll give it to someone. And he gives it to someone in someone not in a brilliant space. Now, as I say, there's so many options, so many people running around the ball. We're like flies around the ball, aren't we? There's one player does something, then someone takes it off of him. Even if he doesn't pass it to him, he's happy to take it off him and go in a different direction. It was like watching electronic football last night. You play with your kids on the computer. It's one like all that type of movement. It was unbelievable. It's not the first. You're right. It's not the first time he's done it. It's not the first time we've played that type of football. But it's becoming a bit of a habit now, isn't it? It's not a one-off, is it, Kieran?
No, it's not a one-off. Steve, do you think that people were criticising Martin Odegaard previously? Not talking about Melbourne's, mate. I'm talking about people who would claim he was ghosting. Do you think that they're watching things like his work rate? They're seeing those types of things. They're seeing his leadership skills when he's pointing at people to tell them to get into positions. Do you think they're seeing that as well?
No, I mean, can you hear me all right first?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, it's good. I think I was cracking a little bit, so I had to take my earphones out. Mate, I don't know. I mean, if you're watching football, I don't see how anybody can not. Look, at the beginning of the season, he wasn't great. He wasn't the Martin Odegaard of last year, if you like, when he was whacking in the goals and creating assists. He wasn't that. And the start of this season, he wasn't. But those people should have, they should have trust in the player from what they've seen already. But some fans don't. And yeah, look, they're saying he's ghosted in games. I don't believe he's ghosted in games. I think he was carrying an injury at one point.
Yeah.
And I've repeated on many occasions that Arsenal have been getting used to a new system, where he was playing in, where he had to do different things this season. Mikel Arteta wanted him to do different things. He wanted to pick up the ball a lot deeper for one. He wanted him to just do different things. And it's taken him time to get rid of, get used to. So, look, they've said he's ghosted. He hasn't ghosted at all. As I say, I just don't think they've looked into, what Arsenal tried to do at the season. The fact that he's been carrying an injury. I don't see ghosting. I can't explain why or how, what people mean by it, and when has he ghosted through games. I haven't seen it, so it's hard for me to sort of say, what they see, because I don't get it.
Fully deserved his man of the match award last night. Mel, sorry.
Yeah, I think he did. Obviously, he was everywhere. He was perfect, but very close to him, I thought, was Havertz.
Yeah. Really good performance yesterday, wasn't it? Showed a bit of everything. His hold-up play, his link-up play. He was involved a lot with the one-touch passing around the box, strong, and he got a goal and assist as well, which is adds to the stats of the people that are want to point out that he's not contributing in that way. He's got. Go on.
I think what I noticed the last few games with him, perhaps he'd been doing it, I hadn't noticed it, but he is so aware of everyone on the pitch.
Yeah,
You think he's not looking at him. You think to yourself, look at that guy's running through. He ain't going to give it to him. He suddenly gives it to him. How did he see him? He wasn't looking. And things, as you say, Kieran, his link-up play is superb. He keeps us moving. There was a time last night, I think he took the ball off of Jesus' toes because Jesus was like not quite had control of the ball. He was static, wasn't moving. And he realised that and just went past him, took the ball and set up another attack. No, it's not the player we signed, is it? That is not the guy we signed. That is a completely different player now, both physically and mentally. That guy's on another level now to the guy we signed.
Yeah. Mentally, he was definitely fragile when he came at Arsenal, and he needed time.
Yeah,
he needed time and support, and I think the little things like the songs when he scores, having his own song gives him confidence that the fans are backing him. Mikel Arteta is a massive fan and will always back him and make a point of when he's had a good game. Steve, do you think there's a lot more to come from Havertz?
Yeah. I think there's much more to come. I mean, he's undroppable at the moment. He gives, like Melvin's already said, he gives Arsenal something different. He's one thing that I've said for a long while, that what he does, it's no coincidence that Martinelli and Saka have all of a sudden come into a bit of form, and they're actually doing now what I said quite a few weeks ago, was that they were staying too wide, and now but when Havertz plays in that number 9 position, he caused so much havoc, he caused so many problems because they basically don't know what they're going to get. They don't know what he's going to do. They don't know if he might hit the ball in the goal, he might lay it off, he might do a little twist, he might crack it and put it in the back of the net. Like, they don't know what to do. So now the defenders have got to keep an eye on him. They're worried about him all the time. They're scared. They're scared of him. They don't know what they're going to get, which leaves space for Martinelli and Saka, which is what I was trying to explain to people on the Super Six, and just in in other places, in just during conversations. But that's what he does. He gives us something different. He's certainly got a lot more confidence now. He's getting better. I agree that he's getting better and better as the season goes on. But I think you can say that about every player. I don't think that Arsenal fans have helped him that much. I think if they was to, a lot of them would have supported him from the beginning, instead of judging him after 5, 6, 7, 8 games and saying that he was a waste of money and he was 65 million, he's not doing enough. Then, maybe did that affect him? I don't know. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't, but it could have. They're obviously, all eating their words now.
But do you not? Sorry, do you not think that the online fans are different to the fans that you'll get at the ground? Because if you look, because I completely agree with what you said there, but I think that there's a difference between the people that will make noise, one behind a keyboard and two, general behind a keyboard, and there are people at the ground who I think have been massively supportive of Havertz.
Yeah,
for the reason why we've got that song. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I
mean, which he sings anytime he does anything.
Yeah, no, a lot of people have, but and it does tend to be the intelligent ones, but. I don't want to mention their names on here, but AFTV have just slagged him off from minute one, and it doesn't help and then it spreads around the fan base because they're the biggest fan channel around, and online, and it gets about, and people watch online, and people haven't got a view of their own. Thought it was hilarious. thought it was hilarious. I actually watched it, their one of their podcasts today, and I was laughing because they said, "Do you know what he does? Do you know what he does? He brings everyone else into play." And I thought, for fuck's sake. And you are the guys that go every game, home, away, and you've just worked that out. And they're all going, yeah, he does, doesn't he? You know, he does do it. And I'm like, do you know what I mean? If you had half a football brain, I do wonder. That's when I think, well, I wonder about your intelligence as a fan. You know, what games are you watching? But
in all fairness, though, Steve, his first half a dozen games, he was poor. Like it or not.
I don't think. That's where I don't.
But just the point I'm trying to make, he wasn't as good as he is now. He's definitely improved out of all knowledge. He couldn't. He actually kept miskicking the ball. He couldn't have the strength, it seemed, to kick it. But
I do think that was confidence.
It was. Yeah, that's what I'm going to point. I'm coming to. I think you can. No, not to the same degree. But anyway, but the point I'm trying to make is that it wasn't just the fans. It wasn't the fans at the ground. It was, like you say, keyboard people.
Yeah.
Right. But I think the media played a lot into it as well.
100%.
Every time he got the ball, it's the 65 million man. Can he get in the team? What's his real position? Why have they bought him? And it's all of a sudden, no one talks about his price no more. Those days are gone. No one talks about he came from Chelsea. Those days are gone. It's like we've bought a new player from somewhere else, another league, and we're just seeing him for the first time. He is a completely different player to what we bought, and he's a completely different player that played at Chelsea. And on both counts, he's much, much better.
But
so
I think
he's good.
I think what you've got to do though as well, you've got to really. I mean, the way I looked at it was that, as I've said many a times, everybody's shite at Chelsea. Yeah, you've only got to go through all their players, and the last 3-4 years. It's very difficult to pick up someone who's done well. Right?
They don't develop players well. They really don't.
No, they don't. They don't.
No,
and what people seem to think, they seem to think that Havertz came into the Chelsea side as this
made player,
this already proven.
Yeah,
he was 20 years old when he came in. He was a kid when he came into Chelsea. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what, as a football man, and like we all are, surely you look at that Chelsea thing and say, we've got to give this kid a chance, right? Because, exactly like you said, Kears, players don't develop at Chelsea, right? They just don't. And he didn't develop. He didn't develop there. They didn't.
He went backwards. If you saw his earlier games for the German team, he actually went backwards at Chelsea.
Exactly. So. I knew how good Havertz was before he went to Chelsea. I wanted him before he went to Chelsea when he was at Leverkusen. I wanted him.
Real Madrid were meant to get Havertz. He was meant to be a big sign at Real Madrid, but that didn't go through because they didn't have the money at the time.
So when I see people come at Arsenal and he's had 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games, right, and he's maybe not. All right, let's go with the fact that he wasn't that great. Why blow it out of proportion? Why can't we look at exactly what I've just said, right? And why can't people see that he's a kid? He came into he won them the Champions League, for God's sake.
I do think there needs to be a bit of more resilience within the fan base when it comes to the media jumping on something. I do think we're too quick to back what they're saying. But I think just one more thing. I think one more thing, and I've had loads of people disagree with me, but for me, I would rather him over Jesus every day of the week. And this ain't for the fact that I'm putting down Jesus. They're different, and for this Arsenal side, Havertz, right, I think brings more than what Jesus does.
100% agree with you, Steve.
All right. All right.
100% agree with you.
Go on, keep going, Mel.
Number one, Jesus doesn't seem to link up as well as he used to with the other Arsenal players. It seems the ball seems to go to him and move over. The move's over, in other words. Nothing goes on. With Havertz, he gets the ball and the move continues. He'll pop up at places, Havertz, in the box you don't expect. He's got a presence in the box. I don't think Jesus has. I think Jesus's days of being our centre forward are over. I think now he's going to play wider for us. Now that we've got Havertz in his position, his rightful position, I think that's going to change. Listen, his ball control, Jesus is fantastic. He's hold up play is very good, but where it matters in the box, he sometimes is left wanting. He's got to get the ball exactly where he wants it at his feet, and then on a one-on-one with a keeper, you're not as confident as you should be.
Oh, what do you think of this?
I want him in the squad. Don't get me wrong. Jesus is.
Oh, no,
I mean, some days will be in our first 11. Don't get me wrong.
I mean,
I think he's more. No, sorry, mate. I mean, for me,
it's a massive turnaround in, and I'm not saying anyone's wrong because everyone's has their own opinion. But think about this conversation 6 months ago.
Oh, I never have had it.
I don't think anyone would be having a conversation where they're saying they feel more confident with Kai Havertz in front of goal than they do with Gabriel Jesus.
No.
People would laugh.
Not just in front of goal, the whole round performance I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Getting our team together, making us play better as a football team.
I think we're seeing what we're seeing is like Havertz up front and us playing some of the best football we've seen since 2004. So we're looking.
We are playing a bit of Arteta ball, aren't we? If we can call it that.
Yeah. So we're looking closely at Havertz and thinking, and everybody's starting to say it's him. It's him. It's what he's doing. It's not just what he does on the ball. It's what he's allowing Odegaard and Martinelli and Saka to do because he's there. Just because he's there. And he's just, for me, again, look, Gabriel Jesus, twisting, turning, causing that problems, that extra little bit of pace, brilliant, absolutely fantastic. Havertz ain't got that. But football brain, I don't think he's got a football brain like Havertz. I think he's like way up.
And I think as well, Steve, he does close down the defence of the other team so well, Havertz.
Yeah.
So well.
Defensively, that's one of Havertz's big traits, which I think was dismissed earlier on. It was seen as, I feel like earlier on in the season when people spoke about Havertz's defensive play and he's closing down, those very important things in a team which is a high pressing team. I think that people were very dismissive of it because they felt like people were trying to crowbar in something to say good about Havertz, but it wasn't. It just, I think you could see he was lacking confidence. You don't. Some of the, I think Melvin point was what Wells was getting to. Some of the like touches that he had, or like he'd go to shoot, it would hit the wrong foot first. He was like. And that's confidence. That's not how he plays, because you don't become a professional footballer if you go to have a shot and you stand in the foot you hit the ball with and you swing an air shot. Like those things that you don't become a professional footballer because of that. Like if you play like that. So it was definitely confidence. But the defensive press, I think, is invaluable.
Do you think right? Because of Havertz playing that number 9 and what he's doing and what he's allowing others to do, for me, it's like it's affecting the whole team, what we do, the way we play.
Oh, of course.
And it's like, as I've already mentioned, I've already said that Martinelli's got better. We've already said that Saka looks different from what he did like early in the season. They're absolutely, back to where they was like at their fluid best last season. A pair of them. Odegaard's doing things that, he's getting man in the match performances week in, week out. Now, because Saka's doing the business, right, all of a sudden, Ben White's now coming back into his own again. Is there some kind of connection there?
Yeah, I'm not going to put this all down to Havertz, because that, for me, that would be madness. Because I feel like you'd be undervaluing what people like Jorginho is doing, and we can't forget what Jorginho has done.
Oh yeah.
For me, I said it a few games ago in terms of like when Jorginho plays, Rice is more free, which means that Odegaard is more free. It means that Saka's more free. It means everyone in that top half has less responsibility to track back. They know that Jorginho is there, and yes, he's not the fastest. His positional sense is up there with the best. He knows where to be, so he doesn't have to throw in lunging challenges and stuff like that. You should respect that just as much as you do someone who can make a great tackle. His positional sense and the fact that he could just stick a foot in, take the ball, calm and composed, and spray a 20-yard diag, break to open up play. It's a lot of things coming into play at the moment, and what the most important thing is everyone is hitting good form. This winter break that we had in Dubai has been an absolute game changer because what we scored more than 3 or 4 goals every game.
31 goals in
ridiculous
6 games, is it?
It's frightening.
7.
Hente said Arsenal's current goal difference of plus 45 is the third best in the club's history in top flight football after 27 games played. Don't worry, Hente, thank you for that. I was waiting for the moment to call up your stats, and there's another one in there as well. But it's just timing. Don't worry, I'm not ignoring you. After 27 games, only in 1934 to 1935 plus 49, and in 1930 to 1931 plus 47 has it been better. You're coming with better stats than Melvin. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm learning a lot from this guy. I'm seriously learning. I think I'm ready to give my crown over to him. I'm telling you, he's different class, mate.
At this stage of the season, we'd be plus 10. Plus 10 over Man City.
Not I had a crown.
Who 10 games ago, people were saying that Arsenal won't win the league. Arsenal were not in this conversation because they don't have a 20-goal a season striker. Now you've got Saka with 16 goals. You've got goals being shared all over the place. You've got Trossard 10, Odegaard 9, Jesus 8, Martinelli 8, Havertz 8. Is it showing that you don't need necessarily that 20-goal a season strike because we're hitting the same numbers, starting to hit the same numbers that we hit last season, Steve?
Yeah, exactly, mate. Look, I mean, it's nothing new on this show. We've tried to explain to people why we don't need that type of striker. We don't need a striker to go and score 20 goals if Martinelli's doing his bit, Saka's doing his bit, Havertz is picking up. What's that forward got so far this season? 7, is it now? 7.
Jesus has got 8 goals, 5 assists.
Yeah.
24 games, 10 less than everyone else.
Yeah, scored him the same amount of goals last season already as Granit Xhaka.
What we're doing, we're playing football, which take you back to the 70s. It had a name for it. The Dutch had it, and we're playing it. It's called total football.
Total football.
That is what we're playing, gentlemen. People ought to realise that. That is exactly what we're playing.
So look, the defence didn't have much to do. David Raya pulled off a nice save yesterday. Saliba and Gabriel were quite quiet, but let's focus on the 2 fullbacks who actually did have quite a bit of more involvement in the game. Jacob Kiwior and Ben White. Ben White, bit of an unsung hero this season. Patchy form would probably be a bit unfair to say about him in the early parts of the season, but probably around November time, he started to get a bit more form. We started to see him overlap a bit more, be a bit more forward thinking, looking like he's having a good season in the end, Steve?
Yeah. I mean, he's back, and it's like you already said, he had he wasn't great at the beginning of the season, and again, really since he's come back from Dubai, a little bit before that actually, he started to pick up a bit of form before then. But ever since he's come back from Dubai, those 7 games, he's been absolutely 8 out of 10 every week. He's back to Ben White, and as one of the best right backs in the Premier League, and hopefully, I mean, Gareth Southgate can't ignore him. Do you know what I mean? If he doesn't go, then I'm not supporting England in the competition because no, I mean it because like there's obviously be some kind of agenda going on there. He's obviously done something to him, but yeah, look, he's been fantastic, mate. There's not much more to say about him. On his day, he's up there with the best right backs in the league, and he is. And again, just like we've been saying, he's playing some of the best football we've seen him play since he came to the club. Great goal on Monday night. Havertz, that pullback, that bit of skill where he killed it in the air from about 40-yard pass from Jorginho. My word. And they say Havertz can't do things. He ain't got talent. You got having a laugh in it. He tried doing that. And an incredible strike, an absolute bullet of a shot. Brilliant from Ben White. I'm so pleased for him. And again, an unsung hero, just so underrated.
Melvin, Ben White hitting a bit of form at the right time, working with Saka, getting goals as well. We saw it towards the end of last season where he started to contribute to goals as well as assists. Hitting some decent form at the right time.
Oh, he's definitely improved. He's definitely improved in lots of ways. I've had my doubts about him actually as a defender in the last 10 yards of the pitch, but we haven't had to do that the last few games really. But what I noticed yesterday was when you're watching on television, you try to visualize all the players and you know who they are, and you see some guy pop up in midfield. Who's that? It's Ben White. What's he doing there?
He's inverting, isn't he?
First, he is, and you don't. You imagine to see Sean. That's not Jorginho. He's too.
No, he's doing Johnny Stones, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. But he's as cool as a cucumber.
Yeah,
he's got the strength. He's got a presence as well. Actually, in midfield as well now.
Mm-hmm.
So he's actually not only is he playing better. He's given us more because he's changed him, or Arteta has changed the game that he plays, and it's made a big difference to us, and it's made a very big difference to Saka. Now Saka's got a bit of support,
yes,
which he hasn't had all season.
Yeah, he's been missing that massively.
What he seems to do, Keys, doesn't he? I think like Mikel Arteta either plays one inverted fullback from either side. Zinchenko was in the side, he inverted in.
Yeah,
Ben White didn't invert. Now, we all know they tried against Fulham, Kior inverted, and he couldn't.
It didn't work.
Obviously, now he's tried it the other way round and getting Ben White to do it.
Which makes more sense because Ben White, I feel like he's more of a footballer than Jakub Kiwior. Although Jakub Kiwior has shown that he's a very good passer of the ball, can cross the ball and defend as well. Again, we'll give him a sec.
Defending okay, Kieran, but he can't head a ball in the box when it's the other box, though, can he? He has a mental freeze, doesn't he?
A 50p head.
Yeah, yesterday he did it, and it was against Liverpool at home. 2 headers, you're thinking, hold on a minute. I mean, do you need a pair of glasses? He did not head the ball either time properly, did he? It was like, what happened there? But his all-round game is, apart from his heading in the other area, is superb. He's strong in the tackle.
Yeah,
absolutely. You're very confident when he goes into a tackle, he's going to win the ball.
Yeah,
very confident. He's
positional, again, mate,
and he can pass the ball, can't he? As you said, he can hit a 40-yard ball, can't he, Steve? He can hit that, which is terrific. Kiwior, he can hit a 40-yard ball.
Yeah, I mean,
no doubt about that.
I can't really go into any more about Kiwior. You said it all, but I think one thing. I mean, we're all. I mean, me. Kears, I think, and Mel, we was all guilty of saying this geezer ain't a left back, but he bloody is.
Yeah, no. I definitely said it. I don't think he's a left back because I saw him at centre back, and I was like, I like the look of this geezer. And then when he played left back, but maybe that's because he was being asked to invert and he just couldn't do it.
Yeah, exactly. Probably exactly that, mate. You're probably spot on there. But yeah, I mean, hold my hands up when I'm wrong. I certainly got it wrong because. He's more than capable of playing left back, and Zinchenko's fit. He ain't getting back in my eyes, anyway. Not yet.
But I think those sorts of players, the fact that they're on the sort of breathing down these other players next who have come in, it keeps that level of competition high. It keeps the standards high because Jakub Kiwior won't want to lose his spot.
Exactly. Not only that, all of a sudden we've played 3 or 4 games. Is it? You'll probably tell me I'm bad at stats. With the same team he's picked. When's the last time Arteta's had 3 or 4 games, have the confidence to play the same team? But at the same time, we're not saying, he's going to burn them all out, because after 60 minutes, he makes changes. And the guys coming in do a job. Last night, we didn't have to have people in to do a job because the job was done. I mean, if we were playing Liverpool until 3 up and we knew to make changes, you wouldn't bring on, with all due respect, Cedric, would you? You wouldn't bring Vieira on. And let's face it, I think Partey, who was a magnificent footballer, he needs to get some oil in his body because he was a bit rusty.
He's been out. He's only played 4. He played the first 4 games, or involved in the first 4 games.
He looked a bit rusty, can I say?
Just
a little bit rusty, but I'm sure.
Like the Tin Man.
Yeah, exactly. You
get
those joints
normally, if they
again.
was to come on and there was a bit, Partey was a bit rusty, and Jesus, obviously, he was rusty as well.
Oh, he was as well. Good point.
Very rusty.
Very rusty. We would be going, oh God, bloody, what we're going to do. But now it's like, you just sit on the bench for a little while, and you'll come on for 10 minutes at the end and get your fitness back. Because that's the Cyprus. That's where we are. You know, at this moment in time.
I think we can play to the end of the season with the same format of playing the best 11 we can, even if it's the same as last week's. They're not going to get too tired because he'll be taken off. Or if you need a bit of a rest, there's someone behind you who wants your place, who's too willing to go on and do a job. So it's slightly different now. The angle's slightly different to where we were last year.
Yeah, no. The song they were saying to Cedric. Did you hear that song that they were singing?
What did they say?
They were saying because he's always moaned, didn't he, about not having a song. They were saying 10 more years, 10 more years.
I didn't know that.
Cedric. Henry says squad depth discussion. We've played 9 games so far in this calendar year, and it's really not too that much. We're getting hot. Can we cope with Jesus, Partey, and Zinni? Look, just on that. Look, it's a complete flip reverse from last season, where at the most important time of the year we lost Thomas Partey, Zinchenko was out, Gabriel Jesus was just coming back, so he was on and off with his fitness and sort of fitness levels, and we just lost Saliba. However, this time Jesus isn't in the team, Partey's not been relied upon, and Zinchenko the same as well. We've now got Jakub Kiwior and at left back as the cover for Zinchenko. Jurriën Timber's on his way back. It's a bit early for him, but he's in a few weeks he might get a bit of game time. It's complete flip reverse from where we were last season. We're not relying on certain players, which is important. Yes, there's players in our team which are very important and vital to how we play, but those players are kept fit. Those players have been players that have always been available. It's these ones here, the Zinchenko's, the Parties and the Jesuses, who have been integral to our play, and then we lose them at vital parts of the season, which derails our season. We're not there at the moment. We're not there this season. So it's massively encouraging going forward and looking towards the end of the season. So, yeah, big things coming, hopefully. Good evening, Russ. Good to see you. What else are we saying? I see a world where Jesus and Zinchenko are moved on next season or so.
I think Zinchenko. I think you're right. I think. I hope not Jesus. Well, yeah, it could. I mean, it depends if we bring another striker in. But Zinchenko. I've heard people looking at him, and you've got to look at that left-hand side at left back, and we're seeing what Kiwior does. We've got Timber to come back in.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Tomiyasu who plays out there as well.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised one bit if Zinchenko left.
If it's a big word in life, but if if it's decided by the boss Arteta that Jesus is no longer our centre forward but is our wide man, you could make the argument for selling him, get good money for him, and getting the guy Neto from Wolves, who would be explosive down our wide side. I think he's an unbelievable player.
Yeah, Neto predominantly on the right, though, isn't he?
He is.
So it'd be good competition for Saka. And I think if we're talking about raising the levels of our squad, that's the kind of level that you want to be bringing in.
Yeah.
But I will add a big asterisk next to Neto, because we're talking about potentially moving on Jesus for a player who over the last 3 seasons have had 2 big injuries.
Yeah.
A knee injury as well. And I am hearing he's over it and he's getting back on to full fitness and he's at a regular now. But I mean, I think from what Steve was saying is I wouldn't like to see the Jesus go. I think it's one of them players. It's out of sight, out of mind. Whereas when he's back and in form, we're talking about how good Jesus is.
How
good he is on the ball, and he's dribbling, and he can create something out of nothing. So I think that sort of player, especially in a Champions League, it's just about getting to full fitness. If we can have the rest of the season where he's a bit part player, but he's going to be back to full fitness long term, I'll take that. But we are getting to the point in the season where we want to start. If we need you, you're coming on to make a difference.
Yeah, I think we're getting into a place, Kears, where we're building a squad with the football we're playing. that players won't, like Jesus, won't want to leave, even if it does mean them. Playing, not bit parts, but not all the time, not every week. Similar to Man City. And that goes for the same as I always used to think that getting someone like Neto to came in and to play like a second fiddle to Saka or whatever when we need him just to rest or something, I used to think that would be difficult. But I don't know, my mind's changed a little bit, because if this is Arsenal as we see now going forward into this season, whether we're in the whether we're in the league or not, and into the next 2 years, players are just going to want to come like they do at City. They know they ain't going to start every week, but they still come.
Yeah.
And we're bigger than City.
And because a part of that is they know that they're going to win trophies. Yeah. It's very hard to keep a player on the bench who's unhappy, or a squad player, if you're not winning trophies. Like those players keep very quiet when they're picking up something at the end of the season. It's when they're sitting on the bench and they're getting frustrated because they feel they could do more of a job than the people that are on the pitch, and they're asking those questions as to why. Russ, mate, look, all opinions. Something that may get a lot of Arsenal fans excited was the news that Edu Gaspar has already started his summer planning ahead of bringing in players in the summer transfer window. He said on TNT Sport last week, "We're planning ahead of the summer. We're planning ahead for the summer on the recruitment, and a lot of things are happening." He went on to say, "To be fair, there's a lot going on at the moment, isn't there? In my role, I have to really look after not only the first team, but also have to look after the women's and the academy as well. There's a lot of things to do, but of course, we've started to plan ahead for the summer on the recruitment. A lot of things are happening, and we're really enjoying it." Steve, we'll start with you. Edu Gaspar, we've seen it at the last 3 seasons. Arsenal plan ahead, nothing last minute. So when we predict that there's going to be no transfers going on in the January transfer, because for Arsenal to do that, they would have to break the process that they've been doing, which is potentially bringing the player that they want in the summer in January, which is very hard to do. But again, looking at where Arsenal are right now, to hear those things from from your director of football is very encouraging for fans, and they should be excited.
Oh yeah, definitely, mate. Makes you think. It's not going to be nothing like January, like you said. As I say, Arsenal got their plans in place. It's what top clubs do. It's what Man City do. They try as much as possible to get their business done early. So when the pre-season starts, most of the time they've got their new players already in place, and they can start getting ready for the new season and getting new players to blend in while they're playing matches in there on pre-season tours and stuff. So, look, it's great news, mate. It's very exciting. Arsenal doing it. Probably all the clubs now starting March normally now. Clubs now starting looking towards the summer. Again, it's just another little thing that you can, if you're an Arsenal fan, you can smile about knowing that the clubs, all ready to sort of fight on for next fronts or for next season. So, it's really good. On the flip side, well, if you can call it a flip side, I suppose it's just one of those things that happens. I do feel that there's going to be a lot of outgoings in the summers also. I feel like Smith Rowe's done. I think he's gone. I don't think he never even got. He doesn't get a chance. He never came on at all in the 6-0 win. Against Sheffield United. Eddie Nketiah, I think time's done. Arsenal. I don't see where he's gonna fit in this new improved Arsenal team. Just don't. He didn't get on either against Sheffield United. There'd probably be a couple of others like the Cedrics and Il Nenis maybe. But one thing I will say, I did get a little bit of hope because Fabio Vieira looked sharp when he came on last night, and I think there's a player in there, and I think Arteta knows there's a player in there. So I'm gonna give him my support because I don't want him to go, and I hope he don't because I think there's a player in there. He hasn't pulled up any trees, that's for sure, but he has had a couple of injuries.
Yeah, bad timing on those injuries as well. I think he was hitting form when he got that last injury.
But he looked sharp. Yeah, like the other night. I know it was Sheffield United, but he'd been out a long while. So had Jesus and so had Partey, and they were a lot worse than him. when they came on that particular night. So I've got a lot of hopes for Fabio. I'm going to stick by him, watch him, and got a funny feeling he might make it. And I think if he could make it, he could save us a lot of money. But the original question, mate, I've sort of digressed a bit there. But exciting, mate, exciting times.
Melvin, you excited for the summer? I mean, we've still got plenty of this season to go, but to hear those words from you when we're having a season like we're having, that they're already planning and there's going to be plenty of recruitment, shows they're looking forward, they're looking up.
Well, at least we're not going to be in a situation when we've been the last X amount of years where we get knee-jerk reactions or panic decisions. Those
you don't
days
see it anymore, do you?
No, you don't. There's been a change the way the whole club's run. So if we don't buy anyone in the summer, and we're all excited with a new signing, who wouldn't be, whoever they are, we're always, look at that, who are we going to get? And when we get him, can't wait to see him play and all that. But even if we don't, it's not now the end of the world. It might be disappointing we don't buy anyone in the summer. And I'm not saying we won't, we probably will. But I'm saying go back a few years. If you're going to tell me we're not going to buy them in the summer, we're going, oh my God, what we're going to do next? Where are we going to be next season? We're going to go backwards again. No, we're not. We've got a good squad, a very good squad. And I think, yes, we'd like more players, but we can live without buying anyone else. So
didn't he state that, what did I say? I think it was Ornstein who done something today that I read, and he said that Arsenal were looking for a striker.
And, I think Eddie said it himself. It's one of the.
But what does a striker mean? What does a striker? It could be anyone along the front three, couldn't it? Doesn't have to be a centre forward.
It could be just a forward, yeah.
Exactly. So we shouldn't read too much into that. I've also read, but I haven't had it confirmed yet, that he's getting a new barbecue this summer. So I don't know if that's going to make.
Oh, if he is, that's game on then, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Definitely. If he does that,
If it is, we're bringing in.
I think what he's going to buy. That's one of the reasons why I said that I think Eddie's gone. I think Reece Nelson's another one. I think's done with. I think he's gone. I think Smith Rowe will go. I think there'll be a lot of outgoings, and I was even sure of that, more sure when they said that Arsenal were looking to the future and buying youth players. So in other words, younger players to come into the first team, which made me sort of think if there was any doubt that any of those players that I've already mentioned may stay, I was like, no, you're gone. You know, your time's up. But I think that's what you'll see in the summer as well. I think you'll see Arsenal looking into the I mean, we just hired the Real Madrid scout who was the South American stats. Excuse me, with teeth in. And he's now at the club looking at South American talent.
Yes, I didn't see that. Where was that? Was that out?
Yeah, he brought in the guy from Real Madrid who brought over, was it Vinicius Junior or Rodrigo?
Right.
Militao. Who else was it? Yeah, he's you know, a lot of recruitment at Real Madrid with the Brazilians, and he's been at Arsenal for a couple of months now. So it'd be interesting to see. That's a good shout. It's interesting to see who he unearths at the end of the season or in summer.
Sounds like they're looking in that area, don't they, for youth?
It makes sense. It makes sense because if you think about it, with all Edu's connections, there's not. Well, we've used the Gabriel Magalhaes, Jesus, Martinelli was there before Edu got here. Marquinhos.
Who's the winger we got? That's Marquinhos. That's right. Marquinhos.
He's been sold on. Yeah. I think he's got a what's it called? Obligation to buy or something option to buy, whatever. So yeah, it's about time we started to see some see what his connections are really about, and bring in some Brazilians because when you've got the Brazilian director of football, you've got a Brazilian scout from Real Madrid. You want to see some more in your squad. Steve, what do you think Arsenal do need? What positions? Obviously, with the likes of Ramsdale looking like he's probably going to end up leaving, going to need a number 2 or competition for David Raya.
Yeah, I mean, they are looking at the Ajax goalkeeper, which I did an article on, and nobody had ever heard of this Ajax player. The name is deep. I think his name's Diane Ramjai. He's the about 21-year-old, plays for Ajax. I know they're looking at him, and then I think a few days later it broke from all other outlets that they was also interested in him. They come out then, so they're definitely looking at another goalkeeper. Saying that, I had a conversation with the Arsenal goalkeeper coach last week. Ike Canna. I might have to tell you that off air, like people. So because I've been warned. So sorry, everybody out there. So,
yeah, you can tell me off air. Bloody hell.
But because I was told something that I was been privileged to have a chat with him, but also told that I had to shut my mouth at the same time. So I don't want to get any trouble.
Yeah,
but I think like the 11 does the 11 go? I don't think we need much, mate. I don't think we need much. You know, the striker. It does seem what they're going to bring in. What type of striker they will bring in, or like Melvin said, will they bring a forward in? Do we need one? I don't know.
It's about time they brought in an option for the Saka on that right. Yeah. Like, at the moment, what we did, we're bringing on Reece Nelson every other game. It doesn't seem like he's going to do anything long term at Arsenal.
Yeah.
If we're really going to be talking about, because right now we're in the conversation of the league, in the conversation with Man City, in the conversation with Liverpool. We really want to push on and be where we're taking these, we're winning the title this year. You've got to bring in another option for Saka, whether that's competition, backup, whatever. It's got to be something there that's going to give him a rest and can start. Because it's all well and good doing the 60 minutes, come off. We need someone who can start and is going to cause real trouble against these teams.
Yeah, I don't think we need much, mate. I don't think we need much. I don't think you'll see. I think you'll be busy. I think you'll be more busy with outgoings. I think it's like there'll be a lot of fans' favourites that's going to leave. But we don't need a lot. I think you'll be more backup players personally, because I don't think we might bring in that one stellar signing like most clubs do, don't they? That eye opener.
A lot of talk about Zubimendi. Is he a player that you'd bring in as a replacement for Thomas Partey?
Shout. Absolute great shout, mate. If for me, I mean, I know it's been reported that priority is a striker. For me, the priority would be that what you just said there.
If you're losing Thomas Partey, you've got to get in another replacement for him.
No, that's a great shout. That's a great shout, because then if Arsenal are playing Zubimendi, and then Rice and then Odegaard as your midfield three, and then you've got Jorginho as a backup and to come in like he's been doing.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that he will sign an extension to his contract at the end of the season, even though he's already got like an option to buy anyway till 2025. I think he'll sign another one. But you're still good at, like you said, you still need that main one there. That main number. So Rice, because when Rice pushes forward,
I think he needs to.
So much.
I think Rice in this Arsenal team. Yes, we've got the six Rice, the West Ham Rice, but I think to really push forward in his career, he's got to be in that role where he's got someone behind him supporting. I think we're seeing the best of Rice when he can do that, because he's able to do that role that Xhaka was doing last season, where he's got that high press, he's got defensive capabilities to win the ball back very well high up, and then he can score goals, he can get assists. He's got a good pass in him, but I think to get the best out of Rice, we need to see him a little bit more free going forward. Mel, who do you think we need? What kind of a player do you think we need to bring in next season?
I basically agree with Steve. We need a midfielder, just in case, because we can't rely on Partey whether he continues with us next season or not. So yeah, that's a priority, and another wide man, someone wide. I know we've got Martinelli and Saka, but we do need people to just in case to liven it up a bit. But then again, we might play Jesus on wide as well, and Trossard. You forgot about him, haven't we? Really? So yes, I think the midfield is the priority. Really, it's got to be.
Even Everett pops out there, doesn't they? Everett pops out on the wings. Yeah. We've got plenty of options now.
We're very fluid, Steve. We played, as I said, total football.
Yeah, and Vieira was out there, weren't he, on the right?
It benefits us playing that, having players that can play in a multitude of positions. Big shout out to Si. He was there yesterday, 6-0 in the Sheffield end. You crazy man. Getting his camera out while Arsenal are scoring. He's actually got a very good video of Kai Havertz's goal. So yeah, go and check it out. Little quick one before we go. Fixture list coming up. Brentford on Saturday, followed by Porto on Tuesday. Redemption time in that game, although they did smash Benfica on the weekend. I think Porto did. It was 4-5-0 or something like that. Which, okay, I'm not concerned about at all because we're at home. Man City is a massive game on the 31st of March. And then, Luton afterwards. But we've got a very, very tough week. Starting off with Brentford on Saturday, followed by Porto in the Champions League, and then Manchester City on the final day of the month, 31st of March. Obviously, we must have an international break in between there. Don't want to jinx it, but look, it's a big couple of games there. Porto followed by Manchester City. People are saying that for Arsenal to win the league, they have to beat Manchester City. I mean, it's a big ask to beat Man City at the Etihad. But Steve, big fixtures, Champions League. How confident are you feeling against Porto in the second leg?
Yeah, I mean, we've got to be confident the way we're playing at the moment. I don't think it'll be as easy as our recent games. Porto are very, clever in the way they play. They'll come and play the same way as they did at their ground, and just try and frustrate us. But I don't think they will. I think we'll come out, and I think we should win the game. I won't say easily, but let's just get the job done. Whether it's a 2-1 or let's just win the football match, and let's get through to the next round. I'm not interested in our. I don't want to think, we're going to thrash from 4s and 5s and things like that. Let's just get the job done.
Yeah.
And then you've got Man City, which is, in a few weeks' time.
Yeah.
So we'll probably be talking about a lot of that, in the coming weeks. But look, that's a massive football match. As I say, we'll have a break. So it's important. It's important for us to get the Brentford game out of the way, the Porto game out of the way, win them both, and then we can go into the Man City game. All guns blazing. And not if we get knocked out by Porto, which look, it's possible. We could, they're 1-0 up, and we could have a bad day, and they could get a dodgy goal again. It puts everybody in a bit of a downer going into the Man City game. So, let's get them 2 out of the way, and then it's on to the Etihad, and hopefully we can have another Man United moment of Mark Overmars scoring. When we that type of thing.
Yeah, true. Melv, just on the Man City game, do you agree that it's a must win, or do you feel like it's a must not lose?
It's a must not lose, but for the first time in a long time, even if we don't win, if we play the type of football that we can do, that'll make a big difference to us as a club. Because over the last 10, 15, 20 years, when we go away to big clubs, we just want to defend. We show them too much respect.
Yeah.
We don't take the game to them. I think we've got the ability now to take the game to City at their ground. I'm not saying we're going to beat them, but we could. Because I don't think defensively they're as good as people make out. Because everyone's too frightened to attack them to leave any spaces at the back. I think we can attack them with 6 men in their half, or 7 or 8 men. We got the confidence to do that because of our 2 centre halves, how fast they are, and their positional sense is so good. So I think it'd be I've never been in this position. I haven't been in this position for years. I've been actually jealous watching the likes the last 10, 15 years of Man United, Man City, Liverpool playing each other near the end of the season and watching them go play each other and thinking, the winner of that game. Yeah, go toe to toe, Kieran, and thinking, the winner of this one will probably win the league. This is a big game, and they're both at it. Not one side is slaughtering the other or frightened of the other. I mean, look at the Man City United game this week. That was embarrassing, absolutely embarrassing. If you would have told me that Man United didn't have a coach on the sideline, I would have believed you. It was really, really that bad. It was just kick it out. Panic stations.
Yeah, it was. And that's after they scored. They did not want that ball, did they?
No. It was like Dad's Army. Don't panic. Don't panic. It was a bit like that, wasn't it? It was. I actually didn't watch the second half because I couldn't take it anymore. I thought this is.
You could tell a goal was coming. City,
of course. I mean, it's it was a matter of it's percentages, isn't it? At some stage they're going to score. But I just think that for once we can go to a team that above us in the league, has won everything, go there and match them. If we can match them on football and get a draw, I want to win, obviously I do. But if we can match them, I think that's a big, big feather in our cap, and it changes everybody, especially my thoughts about this club and about our team.
Well, we've got to remember the last two times we played Man City, we've beat them. Although,
but not at Etihad.
Charity Shield. No, not at the Etihad. That's a fortress.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a fortress. If we can get a point at the Etihad, it'd be a good point.
Not worried about, not in the corner, frightened about them going out, taking them on. That's what I want.
Behind the ball. I think we're beat. I'm not sure we're going to go toe to toe with them, but I think we're going to be smart in our play, in our approach play. It's not gone are the days where we go to these clubs and we just try and defend for 90 minutes and hope for the best. It's a very different team. All right, that is all we have time for. Thank you for everyone who's been involved in the comment section. It's been pretty buzzing tonight. Hente, hopefully that's a new subscriber. I don't remember seeing you before, but some of those stats were unbelievable. Make sure you come next week, please. Monday night, join us as well. Get those stats involved. They are a massive help. Massive help.
Have you ever followed him on Twitter, Kieran?
No, I haven't.
He's unbelievable, the stats he puts on Twitter.
Oh, is it?
He told me yesterday, not me, but he put on and I read it yesterday, that yesterday, 1933, yesterday was the first time that Arsenal ever wore red shirts with white sleeves. First time ever. Never knew that. 1933 against Liverpool, evidently.
Hente, please
follow him on Twitter, gentlemen and girls, ladies and gentlemen. He's brilliant.
Wow.
Brilliant stuff.
Thank you very much. Go and follow him on Twitter as well. Go and make sure you go and follow Steve on Twitter as well. Transfer season will be coming up soon. You make sure you want to be following Steve. Make sure you're following the Transfer Exchange show as well. Good to see you, Si's last story. He said he got rumbled by a woman who's calling me. She said, is he an Arsenal fan? I'm telling you, he's an Arsenal fan. So he had to stay quiet. I'm sure that didn't stop you though, Si.
No.
Never does. It never does. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for joining us, Steve. Thank you for joining us, Mel.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
All right. Make sure you press that like, subscribe, hit that copy button, hit that share button. If you are new to the show, if you are a regular, press that like. Peace out, people. Stay safe and wash your hands.